The year was 80 AD. Rome stood at the peak of its power, an empire stretching across continents, commanding armies, wealth, and influence the world had never seen before. But even an empire as mighty as Rome needed something more than power. It needed spectacle. It needed a symbol that would remind the world who truly ruled. And that symbol would become the greatest arena ever built. The project began under Emperor Vespasian. After years of civil war and chaos, he wanted to restore pride to Rome. Instead of building a palace for himself, he decided to give the people something extraordinary, an enormous arena where citizens could gather, celebrate, and witness unimaginable spectacles. Thousands of workers labored day and night. Massive stones were transported across the empire. Skilled engineers designed an architectural marvel unlike anything seen before. Layer by layer, arch by arch, the massive structure began to rise from the heart of the city. When it was finally completed under Emperor Titus, Rome had something the world had never seen. The Colosseum. A colossal amphitheater capable of holding more than 50,000 spectators. Its towering walls rose above the city like a monument to Roman power. From the outside it looked magnificent. But inside, it promised something far more thrilling and terrifying. The opening games were unlike anything ever witnessed. For 100 straight days, the arena roared with excitement. The crowds packed every seat, cheering, shouting, and chanting as the spectacle unfolded before them. Wild animals from across the empire were brought into the arena. Lions from Africa. Tigers from Asia. Bears from Europe. Exotic creatures the people of Rome had only heard about in stories suddenly appeared before their eyes. Hunters fought beasts. Warriors battled each other. The sand of the arena soaked up blood as the crowd demanded more. But the true stars of the Colosseum were the gladiators. These fighters came from many backgrounds. Some were prisoners of war. Some were slaves. Others were criminals condemned to fight for their lives. Yet a few chose this dangerous life willingly, chasing fame and glory inside the arena. Once they stepped into the Colosseum, their fate rested in the hands of the crowd. Every clash of swords echoed through the massive stone structure. Every victory brought thunderous applause. The roar of 50,000 voices could shake the very ground beneath the arena. The Colosseum wasn't just entertainment. It was a tool of power. The emperors understood something important: if the people were entertained, they were less likely to rebel. Bread and games kept the population satisfied, distracted from the struggles of everyday life. And the Colosseum provided the greatest games of all. Below the arena floor lay a hidden world known as the Hypogeum. A maze of tunnels, cages, elevators, and traps. Gladiators waited there in darkness, preparing for their moment. Animals growled inside their cages. Workers rushed through narrow corridors pulling ropes and operating massive wooden lifts. At any moment, a trapdoor could open in the arena floor. A lion might suddenly appear. A warrior might rise from below the sand. The crowd loved the surprise. The drama. The danger. Sometimes the arena even transformed into something unbelievable. Historical records suggest that in the early years, the Colosseum hosted mock naval battles. The arena floor was flooded with water, and small ships sailed inside the massive structure as warriors reenacted famous sea battles. For the people of Rome, the Colosseum became the heart of the city. It was where heroes were born. It was where legends were made. Victorious gladiators became celebrities. Their names were whispered in markets and shouted in taverns. Women admired them. Children dreamed of becoming them. But beneath the cheers and excitement, the arena carried a darker truth. Every game meant suffering. Every spectacle meant blood. Thousands of animals were slaughtered for entertainment. Gladiators risked their lives every time they entered the arena. And many never left it alive. Yet the games continued. Year after year, emperor after emperor, the Colosseum stood strong. It was the pride of Rome. The greatest arena the world had ever seen. But history has a way of changing everything. And even the mightiest empire cannot escape the passage of time. The arena that once symbolized Rome's power would eventually witness something else entirely. Its decline. Its silence. And its fall. But that part of the story was still waiting to unfold. Before we continue to Chapter 2 and uncover the dramatic fall of Rome's greatest arena, make sure you subscribe to the channel and join us on this journey through history. Because the story of the Colosseum is far from over. For centuries, the Colosseum remained the beating heart of Rome. Crowds filled the seats. Gladiators fought bravely in the sand. Emperors watched from their royal boxes as the roar of the audience echoed through the massive stone walls. But slowly, the world around the arena began to change. The Roman Empire, once unstoppable, started to weaken. Political corruption spread through the government. Emperors rose to power and fell just as quickly. Some ruled for only months before being overthrown or assassinated. Rome's armies were stretched thin, defending vast borders from invading forces. Germanic tribes pressed against the empire's frontiers. Economic troubles began to grow. The empire that once dominated the world was beginning to crumble. And as Rome struggled, the Colosseum felt the effects. Gladiator games became harder to organize. Maintaining such a massive arena required enormous resources. Animals had to be captured from distant lands. Gladiators had to be trained and fed. Workers had to maintain the structure and operate the complex machinery beneath the arena. As the empire's wealth declined, these spectacles became less frequent. But there was another change happening as well, one that would transform Roman society forever. Christianity was spreading. At first, Christians had been persecuted by Roman authorities. But over time, the religion gained followers across the empire. Eventually, Emperor Constantine legalized Christianity in the early 4th century. This shift in belief began to challenge the brutal traditions of the arena. Many Christians believed the gladiator games were cruel and immoral. The idea of killing for entertainment no longer felt acceptable to a growing number of people. Slowly, attitudes started to change. By the year 404 AD, something historic happened. The gladiator games were officially banned. One story tells of a monk who jumped into the arena, trying to stop a fight between gladiators. The angry crowd turned on him, and he was killed. But his sacrifice reportedly shocked the emperor so deeply that he ended the games. Whether the story is completely true or not, the result was real. The age of gladiators was over. Without the games, the Colosseum lost its purpose. The massive arena that once echoed with cheers now fell silent. Years passed. The structure still stood tall, but its glory faded. Then disaster struck. In 443 AD, a powerful earthquake damaged large parts of the Colosseum. Stones collapsed. Sections of the outer wall crumbled. The once mighty arena began to decay. Rome itself was no longer the powerful capital it had once been. The Western Roman Empire officially fell in 476 AD. Without strong leadership or resources, the Colosseum slowly transformed. Instead of a place of entertainment, it became something entirely different. During the Middle Ages, parts of the arena were used as housing. People built homes inside its ancient walls. Workshops and small communities appeared within the ruins. At one point, the Colosseum even became a fortress controlled by powerful Roman families. But its stones were also stolen. Builders took marble and stone blocks from the arena to construct new buildings across Rome. Pieces of the Colosseum were used in churches, palaces, and other structures throughout the city. Little by little, the arena was dismantled. What once symbolized Rome's greatest power became a quarry for construction materials. Yet somehow, despite centuries of damage, earthquakes, theft, and neglect, the Colosseum survived. Today, its broken arches still stand against the Roman skyline. Millions of visitors travel from around the world to see it every year. They walk through the same corridors where gladiators once waited. They stand in the arena where warriors fought for glory and survival. And as they look up at the towering ruins, they remember the incredible story behind those stones. The rise, the glory, and the fall of Rome's greatest arena. The Colosseum is no longer a place of bloodshed. Instead, it has become a powerful reminder of history, of humanity's achievements and its mistakes. It tells a story of ambition, power, entertainment, and change. And even after nearly 2,000 years, that story still fascinates the world. If you enjoyed uncovering the rise and fall of Rome's greatest arena, make sure to subscribe to the channel and join us for more incredible stories from history. Because the past is full of mysteries waiting to be discovered. And the next story might be even more fascinating than this one.